Grottu Orloff again here. I was showing you some of these digests I have in this box, digest-sized magazines. This is Tiki News, and this is printed. Boy, this print way too small. But you know, yeah, there's certain people that are really into tiki culture and the music and the old tiki clubs and creating tiki bars in their homes, and they've even started a tiki bar here locally. I think it's called Four Kahunas. We went there opening night. But yeah, there's Tiki News. What else do I have here? This is cool. Look at this cover. I think this cover is really neato. Satin Satellite from Conway Press. $5 was an extreme amount back in the 50s. That was very expensive. So what you got here are some of these things are, yeah, and some of this stuff has Eric Stanton art. I was telling you in the last video who worked with Steve Ditko, and so these are just little bits of coolness from a bygone era. What else? My goodness, this is actually inappropriate. What else I got? Fantasia. This was the spinoff from the Disney film. This is issue number 12. Some of these have pictures of Betty Page in them. And they have cool artwork. Like, look at that. These magazines catered to real scum and vermin back in the 50s, and people that were. This was sold, I guess, under the counter. I don't know what kind of store you would buy this stuff at, but stuff like this. Fantasia. I don't know. Somehow back in the 90s, a lot of this stuff came my way, and I just kept finding it. Like every centerfold is kind of the same. Lots of bondage and spanking in these old magazines. This is what Ward Cleaver read back in the old days. Back when Davy Crockett was on television. King of the Wild Frontier. Exotique. I showed you that one before. I was showing you this stuff and I keep getting interrupted. First I was interrupted by my dog crying downstairs. So I went downstairs and my wife's taking a nap, and I let the dog into her room, so that I was thinking, well, the dog will no longer be lonely. The dog will cuddle. Drew, our dog, will cuddle with my wife, was my theory. But instead she went in there to her little diaper pad and took a big smelly poop that woke her up. Now, she's pissed at me. So she called me and said, hey, the dog came in and has pooped and it woke me up. And when she called me, it caused my last video to stop suddenly, because I'm recording this on an iPhone, and if someone calls you, which nobody calls me anymore because we got all our bills paid off finally, so there's no bill collectors calling, and I don't have many friends, so I don't really expect the phone to call unless it's one of these people who are wanting to buy your house, you know, because apparently people want to buy our house. How about that? We must live in a desirable area. Okay, Video Watchdog. Going through the digest-sized magazines, like this one. I love how they cover up a lot of the title there. I mean, I've seen, you know, that skull covers up a little bit too much of the title. I assume it's Luchas. That this is a wrestling, the wrestling guys are the heroes of that one. Oh, this is a cool little fanzine someone put out, Multi-Ball. There's a guy that was really into pinball, and he put this little tiny magazine out that's the size of, it's really the size of like a religious tract or something. So, but see, it's for pinball people. You know, people with all kinds of weird interests were able to put out their own magazines, and they did. Am I still recording? Yes. Somehow that never happens on CNN or Fox News, that the camera just falls. But it does here on the Grottu Orloff network. And then we got a copy of Bold in here. Lick 'em or join 'em. Yes, indeed. This is Bold magazine. What else do I have? These are really old. Facts about nudism. Where the hell do I find this stuff? I don't even remember buying these things. I think maybe they just gave these away at, yeah, like these were either sold to the back of men's magazines, or when they had those films that would play in movie theaters that showed the birth of a baby. You know, they would separate men and women, different showings, and they would give away those things. I don't know. I'm just imagining. Here's the good times. This is a little nudie magazine. Here's the TV guide. Actually, I have 2 copies of this. No, 3. I was really into this show when it first started, the first season. I think they had Roy Thomas writing scripts, and I felt like finally the Marvel Comics, Red Sonja, Conan the Barbarian, it's almost like it's been brought to life, and got some of these Power Rangers. I'm into the Japanese stuff, not the bastardized versions brought over to this country, but somehow I got these, because I bought, you know, TV Guide every week, and I would save the ones that had covers or were interesting. I guess I bought this of some Halloween issue just because the Addams Family were on the cover. Oh shit. This is something I've had since I was like 5. We went to this castle, Neuschwanstein, in Germany, and my family, because my dad was stationed in Germany, and that's the castle that the Disney castle is based on. It was built like in the 1860s by an insane king, Ludwig, and everything in the castle has a swan motif. But yeah, it's the classic castle that you see in all the little fairy tale cartoons, and was also the castle used in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Here's a copy of Stare, and it's got the little Illuminati eye falling down on Betty Page there. I collected a lot of Betty Page there stuff for a while. Let's see what else is in this. Copy of Brief magazine. Got a cool cat. View magazine. I gotta move the camera where you can see. Hey, come on. Oh, I got some good stuff coming up. Stay tuned. I love when I make a 40-minute video and I look and see average view 2 minutes 42 seconds. So within 2 minutes 42 seconds, people realize I don't want to watch any more of this old bastard. Look at this. That's really cool. But you should watch the entire video. You fools. You don't know what you're missing at the Grottu Orloff network. Photorama. Just. Oh, look, there's Betty Page on the back. And, you know, there was a magazine put out about, see, Betty Page was kind of forgotten. And then she was drawn into the Rocketeer comic book by Dave Stevens. And then comic book people were like the first to rediscover her. So Betty Page started to become popular in the comic book stores, and then it expanded to all these other subcultures. But this magazine was put out by Greg Theakston. It was, and then he later actually found Betty Page and became friends with her. But this would reprint articles about Betty Page, you know, from from those digests I was just showing you. He reprinted stuff from those, right? So this is the original printing, and then later they reprinted it. See, this is the first printing. This is printed later, and it's easy to tell the difference. The reprint, this is the original. The reprinting is glossy paper. So that's the Betty Pages, and then issue 2, he drew the cover. Now, Greg Theakston was also he passed away, but he was real important in reprinting old Golden Age comics. You know, when you reprint a comic, you've got to have the original black and white artwork in theory to do it right. And but a lot of the original artwork doesn't exist for those old comics, and some of those DC Archive editions that were coming out 20 years ago, it's like it looked completely wrong. Someone was tracing the art really badly. Someone that had, like, it looked bad. It did not look authentic. What Greg Theakston would do is it's blasphemy, I know, but he'd find an original copy of a Golden Age comic, and he found some way he'd had to destroy it. He would actually bleach the color out, so leaving just the black and white art somehow. And then he would photostat that, and that's how he would make he would color it in. That's how and they call it Theakstonizing or something. Now I see a lot of these collections will just copy right off the page from a vintage comic, even with the yellowing, because that's kind of cool. Like, is it Craig Yo? Y-O-E is his last name. He does that. The guy with a long beard. He does a lot of reproductions. But, you know, if you have the original art, it's perfect. But Greg Theakston was doing that. But you'd have to get someone to donate a comic that's worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and destroy it in order to reprint it. And then they were selling these 3D slides. So they did a lot of 3D photography of Betty Page. And yeah, I'd have to drive all over to find these. Not every comic store carried them. I'd have to go all the other side of Dallas to get these. I was so into Betty Page. This is issue 5. Issue 6. I don't know if these are probably worth something now, I guess. Issue 7. Issue 8. Oh, and with this one, this is the farewell issue, and this is where they actually spell Betty correctly. A lot of nudity, or I would show you that. And then this is a Movie Star News catalog, and Dave Stevens also became a good friend of the real Betty Page. That was done in '89. That was when things were really big for you know, Betty Page people. This is an actual old Betty Page book done back in the old days, in the 50s. But it's real. And then someone did a fanzine. Yeah, that's kind of sticking together. Uh-oh. See, I've got this problem where... See, he sealed... This guy did this fanzine, Betty and Me, and he sealed it with tape, and the tape has stuck to another book here, and this is creating a crisis, a bad crisis. Ah, I got it. I need to put this somewhere else. He even includes a playing card with his, you know, he does it. Oh, there's nudity in here. Yeah, anyway, this is somebody's fanzine about Betty Page, and this is what got stuck to his tape that put his book together. The Savage Eye catalog, and I don't even remember what this is. It's where you can get all this kind of stuff. Boy, that acid from that tape ate right through there. Yeesh. I'm going to have to separate this contaminant. What else we got here? Oh, more of these on the back. Oh, it actually has someone's name that this once belonged to. And at some point, someone tried to sell this for $15. I doubt that's what I paid for it, but who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. Basil Wolverton also put out little publications with his great artwork. Basil Wolverton. If you don't know Basil Wolverton, you need to investigate him. Here's a fanzine for a band called the Fuzz Tones, called Fuzz Buzz number 5. There's another one, Fuzz Buzz number 13. You can join their fan club. Just cool stuff. Fuzz Tones were a cool band. Now here's another old vintage one. Joyce Miles versus Nanette Rockwell. Here's Wolfbait. It's a ZZ publication, and it's crazy looking inside. Nope, nudity. Dolores Del Rey. Now here's a cool one. Satana's Secret Society of Sin. Oh, there's too much nudity for you to see that. This is a Barbie catalog for Barbie collectors. No, I think they're making a cartoon of this. Fat Freddy's cat, the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. And this is inside of it, just dead. From the Evil Dead logo. How did that wind up as a bookmark in here? I don't know. But it's a nice little small format, this digest size. It's easy to create. Oh, here's one. Alcohol, Your Blood, and Your Brain. And this comes from Dallas, Texas. Oh, and it's got cool little cartoons in it. Yeah, all kinds of neat stuff. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What else will I find in this incredible box? That's what you're wondering. That's why you're still tuned in. This is something I had to drive to the seediest record store in Dallas to get, and this is a wonderful Cramps fanzine put out by the president of the Cramps fan club in Scotland, and it's bound together with a rubber band, and this is issue number 334. But it's just it's got all kinds of cool stuff. If you're into the band The Cramps, reprints of different things, and this guy Lindsay Hutton that put this together later became very disenchanted with the Cramps because he put all this time into their fan club, and finally they just sent him a letter saying, oh, we don't want a fan club, it's been great, bye. And he felt like they kind of what's the expression the youngsters use, dissed him. But yeah, he was really into them, and it was really not too nice the way they treated him, I don't think. But oh well. I don't want to speak ill of the dead. Here's a Spanish language comic book for the kiddies. Actually, this is a rather inappropriate little comic book. And then we have Let's Talk About Goofballs and Pep Pills from the same publication firm in Dallas. Let's talk about goofballs and pep pills, including tranquilizers and LSD. Oh, more Spanish language cartoon comic books. Yes, indeed. I think pesca means fish. I don't know what that means. Look at the fish. I don't know. I need to brush up on my Spanish. Anyway, it's a little cheesecake thing. Okay, what is this? This is not the Vampirella I know of, from the Warren days. This looks like some little supplement from Wizard magazine. Vampirella just doesn't look right. Vampirella has to be drawn by Spanish artists. I feel like Vampirella, in her heyday, was drawn by Spanish artists. So therefore, Vampirella always looked like a woman from Spain, and she should look that way. This is also some promo from Wizard. You know, it's just Lady Rawhide. I mean, good artist. So it's something I'm, certainly going to hold on to. I have no idea if it has any value. Here's also from Wizard. I guess Wizard must have had these little mini comics. It's a Beavis and Butthead comic. Oh, I didn't even know I had this. Look at this. It's a Fantastic Four comic book in a digest size form. 15 pence. I guess it's from England. And this kind of dates it to the Star Wars era. And it's just this black and white art from the 60s. Amazing. Man, the Century Sinister. It looks like it has several issues worth of the Fantastic Four in this. And then I showed you this copy. The Sophisticate was a magazine I put out in the early 90s, and I showed you this before. If you go back in my videos, but I didn't show you this one. This is a copy. This is issue 17 from July 1995. This is the back cover. So this is what it looked like. Oh no. Drew has gone mad again. July 1995. That's my dog downstairs. And I have some artwork from my friend Charles Hancock. So I reproduced some of his cool artwork. I haven't seen this issue in years. Then I have stuff about Candy Bar, who was a Dallas stripper from the late 50s, early 60s, that I was really interested in then, and Anne Margaret, who I've had a crush on since 3rd grade, and more Anne Margaret, and a little ad. What kind of woman reads Sophisticate? The Sophisticate. Yeah. And in the centerfold is, of course, Lily Munster. And it's just all this kind of stuff. It's just a grab bag of things that I think are cool. Teenage Tupelo was a movie a friend of mine made, and it was premiering. They were going to show it at the Orbit Room. There's an ad from the Colony Club, which was one of Jack Ruby's clubs. I can't even read the small print. Anyway, this is what it looked like back in those days of 1995. Joe Riley, the guy that did The Hypnotic Eye, I don't think he liked anime very much. He liked the live-action Japanese superhero and monster stuff. So he put every Japanese cartoon geek. He drew this, and it's a very offensive drawing, making fun of people that were into anime. Yeah. So that must mean I either own that original artwork or he's since passed away. So the stuff he did is important. Don't miss the next issue, and that's a cover that I never used, but in theory that was going to be the next issue. All right. So that was something I knew I had to have it on the cover. Oh, and this is one done by Charles Hancock. I just showed you his artwork, Malt Liquor Mantras, and it's all his artwork. I mean, he's a really great artist. His art is in galleries and stuff. He's just an incredible poet and artist and musician. Here's Make Room. This is before 6 beers, after 6 beers. I don't know what to tell you about this fanzine. There used to be a magazine called Fact Sheet 5, and they would review fanzines, and they'd tell you about the fanzine, they'd give you the address and how much it cost, and so you read about a really cool fanzine, you'd send off like $1 or something, or a couple bucks, and then it would get mailed back to you, and then you wind up with a collection of fanzines from all over the world, and that's before the internet allows people to communicate like we are now without that. This is some magazine about Satanism, and I hate Satanism, but I don't know why I own this, but it's got a picture of Batgirl in it. Could that be it? Possibly. I mean, I'll read their stuff, but I don't like them. Freak Meat. This is more of this kind of... Was this done by Alex Crow? It sure looks like it. Yeah, it looks like another... I showed you Alex Crow's... This is just the kind of amazing stuff that people create. Yes, Alex Crow produced this magazine as well. I need to put it with his other copy. And, okay, this robotic frog, it says pencils by Joe Riley. So that's Joe Riley artwork. I think this is Joe Riley's art all through. Let's see. Yeah, this was a comic strip done, a comic book done by Joe Riley. So those of you that are fans of The Hypnotic Eye, this is him. I don't think did he write this? All art done 100% by Reverend Throwbolt, 1992. Okay, pencils by Joe Riley. Okay, so this must have just been done completely by Joe Riley. This was his creation. Yeah, this is all his. Joe Riley. I lost touch with him for years, and then We contacted each other through MySpace, talked for a little bit through the MySpace messaging, and we talked about how we were going to go to a Universal Monsters convention in Grand Prairie that was coming up, of all places. And that was cool. And then the next day, someone called me up and told me he'd passed away. So right after I talked with him on the computer, he must have had a heart attack. And I never went to that Universal Monsters convention. I don't know, maybe it just, that was very, but at least I know that, I don't know, when he passed away, at least I wonder if I was the last person to talk to him. At least I know he wasn't mad at me when he passed away. Yeah, I mean, he was never really that great at drawing women, but he was a tremendous artist. This one is as well, but it's real. It's just a little short one. Trash. Is that what it says? Yeah, trash. Yeah. He created, for those of you in the Subgenius, he created that mask of the smiley face and this Bob mask. Yeah, he was real big into that. He was big friends with Ivan Stang. Here's another issue of 6 Foot Crow. Yeah, issue number 2. Again, put out by Alex Crow in Dallas. I wonder if he has a YouTube channel. I wonder what he's doing these days. Nobody knows. You don't know. Maybe you do. You could tell me. What else? Oh, some good stuff coming up. What is this? The best of So What? And they have previous issues, you can see, so not intended for normal human consumption. Well, you have to worry about that. This is very dense in text. This is a writer. And they even make fun of Jack Chick tracks. Okay. Oh, man. Here's a Chiller pocketbook. This is also British, same era as that Fantastic Four I showed you. It reprints, looks like 70s Tomb of Dracula. Look at that cool ad. Obviously Man-Thing, black and white. And another Spanish language thing. That's kind of cool. Damn. What else do I have here? I've forgotten about a lot of this stuff. Yes, indeed. More Spanish language comics. Yeah. Okay. Then there was this cool mystery date, and this was put out by what was her name? I can't remember her name, but she was out of Lynn Perrell, I think, out of San Francisco. This is issue 2, issue 3. It's the same kind of stuff, culture stuff, but done from a girl's perspective. What is this plane behind me? Oh, weird stuff. This is 4, 5. This is all 1990 stuff. Let's see here. I don't know what this is. Something called Baby Girl. And then Billy Miller and Miriam Lena had this fanzine called The Bad Seed about juvenile delinquent paperbacks, and from the 50s, and juvenile delinquent movies too. So, and comic books too, you know. Anything 50s juvenile delinquent, they love that stuff. Oh, this is charming. Now Meet Satan. It's Someone really into just, you even have your tattoo ready made so they can trace it right onto your bicep. Oh, this is done by my friend Ryan Johnson. I haven't talked to him in years. This is his. See, everyone was putting these things out. He was a good friend of mine in junior high and high school and college. Well, he moved out to San Francisco, came back. Got several copies of that. Then what do I have? Oh, more copies of Tiki News. People into Tiki culture. What else? This one's so cool, they don't even have a name on the cover. This is a real punk rock looking one. Let's see what it's called. Oh, it's called What the Hell Is Going On, I think. Lithium Christmas was a band, a friend of mine, Mark Ridlin. Just all about Dallas punk rock, I guess. What is Blue Persuasion? This is number 4. All kinds of weird shit in these old magazines. Looks like a lot of Japanese, someone into Japanese girls, and Rudy Ray Moore is in here. That's cool. Sundays is a record label that puts out cool 60s stuff on CD. And Estrus was a great record label. I don't know how I came up with this. The Mask. Crazy Christian Conspiracy Comics, number 1, number 2. My wife likes Dita Von Teese. This is before she was famous. I don't think she was famous. I bought this at Forbidden Books. And this is out of, I can't really show you the inside. But this is when, 1997. Yeah, so that's real early on, before her great career. Let's see. High heels, black nylons. The Girl from Auntie. I guarantee you this has nothing to do with The Man from U.N.C.L.E., although they want you to think that it does. It's, and ironically, I think there was, when The Girl from U.N.C.L.E., there was a Girl from U.N.C.L.E. sequel. I think they did a digest-sized little magazine for that. Okay, Thrift Score was a cool little publication about, you know, cool stuff you can find in thrift stores, and people would show their cool finds. This is stuff that is now all on the internet. This is what I'm showing you, is the internet the way it existed before it existed as we now know it. People and their weird little interests were put out in zines, also known as magazines. But I like to call them magazines because, hell, I'd rather say the word application than app. I just think that's silly when you shorten words. Yeah, thrift Score. I'm starting to speed up because I don't know how much space I've got left here on my recording device. Here's a Jap animation catalog. Joe Riley in that cartoon I showed you, he called them Japanese cartoons because it really annoys them when you call them cartoons. They can't stand it. Here's a 1995 Antarctic Press catalog. I don't even know what that is. This must be people bringing anime over to the States. And I'm sure that has some kind of value to someone. Oh, just a few more. This was a cool store that had all kinds of toys for sale, and I guess they sent me their catalog every time they put one out. Spring 1992. I think I ordered an Addams Family card game from them or something, or I don't remember what I ordered from them. But boy, they made sure I got every catalog from then on. And these are the kind of things that, there used to be a publication called Toy Shop, where you could look at cool toys for sale, and of course the internet has replaced all of that, and here's more Spanish language stuff, and what is this? Whiz Bang. Oh, it's toys, Batman toys, Indiana Jones, toys for sale. This is somebody's catalog. But I save all of this stuff because it's cool, you know. I saved it haven't looked at it in well over 20 years. Now I'm seeing it for the first time with you, and I don't know if you're overwhelmed, underwhelmed. Just a few more here, because I thought I'd show it to you before it goes back into the vault. These aren't in too great a shape. View. How about that? More. These have tape, and they're definitely well read by some horrible person at some point. They smell like a garage. I matey. So those are more of that kind of thing. Okay, that's all my digest size stuff. So let me put this in a special place where that tape won't screw something up. I'm starving. It seems like this would be a great time to eat some form of cheeseburger of some sort. Shit. Put that there. Alright. I will be back soon to show you some cool finds from yesterday. See you soon. Oh, shit.